Welcome to The Future is Made with Finland. Before we introduce you to your hosts for today, here's a short technical orientation. This is an interactive show, and we want you to engage from the start to the end. At the bottom of your screen, you will see this function for general conversations with your hosts, the panelists, and one another. Go ahead and say hello there if you haven't done so already. Next, we have the Q&A function. This is where you can ask any specific questions around today's topics, and our panel members will respond to those as we go along. If you see a question that you like, you can upvote it, and when we get to our panel discussion, those questions will get priority. Also, if you see a question that you know the answer to or have a comment to add, please do so. We may run a poll or two during the show, so please add your vote there as well. If you run into technical difficulties, try to exit Zoom and enter the show once again. And now, without any further delay, here are your hosts, Masia Peche and Alberta Slow.
Hello and welcome from wherever you're joining us on the continent and even further. My name's Masia Peche, and joining me is my co-host, Alberta Slow.
Yes, welcome from my side as well. Masia and I are coming to you from the Embassy of Finland in Pretoria today, and we would love to hear where in the world you are.
Yes, so make sure that you comment with your city or town, even your country, in the chat box at the bottom of your screen.
And while you do that, let's quickly give you a little bit of an overview of what the series is all about.
In this series of 3 episodes, we're taking you on an Arctic adventure to discover ways in which Finland and Africa are already working together to create a future of excitement and opportunity.
This is episode 3, and if you've missed the first 2, don't worry. Here is a quick overview of what happened so far.
In the previous episodes, we got a bit of an introduction to Finland, its beauty, amazing quality of life, and its culture of innovation, especially when it comes to education, science and technology. We met a Finnish African soccer player and the Finnish ambassador to South Africa. We got a taste of varsity life in Finland, discovered some cool Finnish African collaborations, specifically around coding, education, natural resources and agriculture. We dived a bit deeper into the Finnish research scene, including the circular economy, the future of food and textiles, as well as the fascinating field of photonics and how a group of African students are using photonics to impact our continent and the world. And we ended each episode with some very stimulating panel discussions.
So today we're exploring ways in which your Arctic adventure can become a reality.
But before we sink our teeth into the adventurous details, let's introduce you to our panel members who are standing ready to answer your questions and share their experiences.
lot about studying and doing research in Finland, but what is it like to actually live there? Albertus, you've been to Finland before. Isn't it like really cold there?
Yeah, it's pretty cold, really cold.
-10.
More like -30 and even lower. But Finnish homes are nice and warm, and as the Finn says, there is no such thing as bad weather. You're just badly dressed. And you can sauna every day, and their summers are lovely. Wonderful temperatures, and the sun literally never sets.
Well, it also seems like the Finns have a very dry sense of humor. Let's take a look at this video to discover what life is really like in Finland.
Good news from Finland! Welcome to Helsinki, Finland, the northernmost capital of the EU. In recent years, Helsinki has repeatedly been chosen as one of the best cities in the world to live. It's quiet and peaceful here, mostly because it's too cold to go outside. This is Tomi. He was born in Helsinki and named after Dom of Finland. You know, the Finnish fitness icon and leather pants enthusiast. Like all Finns, Tomi wasn't brought to his parents by a white stork. Instead, he was delivered in this, the world-famous Finnish baby box that contains essentials every newborn Finn needs. We are innovative. It's in our genes. This is Tomi's childhood home, Futuro, designed by Matti Suuronen. It was originally located here at Lake Puulavesi. When Tomi was young, his mother used to wear this, a highlight of Finnish design. Marimekko dresses were also worn by Jacqueline Kennedy back in the day when presidents sent astronauts into outer space instead of tweets into cyberspace. As one of the flag bearers of Finnish equality of the sexes, Marimekko was also a pioneer in unisex clothing like the tasaraita nightgown. If your love life can survive these, it can survive anything. Our innovative spirit has also brought the world ultra-modern devices like this Nokia Mobira CityMan 900, seen here with Soviet leader / Nokia sales rep Mikhail Gorbachev. Now we are all connected. Today, Tomi lives here, in the center of Helsinki. He gets to his apartment by riding an elevator made by Kone. In addition to taking people where they want, they also talk.
Hello.
Isn't that uplifting? Tomi's home is heated and cooled by Helen, the leading energy company in Helsinki. Named the most efficient energy producer in the world, Helen warms Tomi's home with excess heat harvested from data centers. For the summers, Helen has developed district cooling. In fact, Tomi's district cooling is so cool, it only listens to Alma and drinks oat milk lattes. At home, Tomi does his chores like a good Finn. After drinking his coffee from a Moomin mug, he washes it right away and places it in another marvel of Finnish design, the dish drying cabinet. We may not have invented the space rocket or the internet, but perfecting the way we dry our pots and pans is just as good, isn't it? In Helsinki, there are 2 world-class universities. One of them, Tomi's alma mater, the University of Helsinki, is home to world-leading climate research and the birthplace of the Linux operating system that runs most of the world's supercomputers. Fun fact, even though the Linux logo is a penguin, there are no penguins in Finland. This is where Tomi works, Supercell. It's time to say goodbye to Tomi because he has to get back to his computer and design more super engaging games that put the Royale in clash. Watch out, hikers! One of the best qualities of Helsinki is that it's very easy to get here and out. Helsinki is an important hub for direct flights to dynamic Asian cities. Come and visit us. You just might stay for good.
And it's also real easy to get there from Africa, especially since we have very similar time zones.
But what is it like for a foreigner to actually live and work there?
Are you gonna be cutting? You'll do like jump cuts and stuff.
As you might already know, Finland often ranks among the leaders in various international comparisons. We're even nominated as the happiest country in the world, which surprised everyone, including us. And that's more or less how it is in real life too. We actually have things pretty well up here, which is why we're considered as the best country in the world for expats. one of the things we're most proud of is equality. That gives all of us premises to make most of our careers.
To be honest with you, being a female and an expat here in Finland, I've never really thought about my gender, my nationality, or my cultural background when I've applied to jobs or have gotten jobs in the tech industry.
Employer-friendly working hours leave plenty of time for family, friends and hobbies, something we Finns value a lot. Having the work-life in balance is also the best way to get new ideas. Accompanied with the famously low hierarchy at workplaces, which encourages people to express themselves and bring their own ideas forward, it's hardly a surprise that Finland is ranked as one of the top countries in the world when it comes to innovation.
It's not about the innovation itself, but it's more about the conditions are there to make sure that innovation happens.
Finland is a frontrunner in ICT and digitalization. Technologies and know-how are enabled by active collaboration between companies, universities and research institutions. Combined with a famously vibrant startup scene, we've become the parents for various global mass, IoT and AI solutions. Gaming, software development and cybersecurity are also fields that thrive in Finland, attracting talent around the globe.
I think society in Finland is both pro-technology and pro-innovation. There's been a lot of innovative technological advancements that have started here, from moving people all around to connecting people. So definitely it should lure tech enthusiasts to this region.
As we Finns really appreciate our nature, it has been clear that we should also strive towards a more sustainable world. We're already a leading country combating climate change, and our aim is to become carbon neutral by 2035. This creates opportunities in biotech, clean tech, circular economy, energy sector, and in smarter, more sustainable manufacturing in general.
If you have something to offer, if there's something that you're passionate about, the career opportunities are there.
We're smart, sustainable, and safe. A technology superpower that's always looking for aspiring superheroes to join us.
In our first two episodes, we chatted to some students and researchers from Africa who experienced life in Finland. Today, we will hear a little bit more from them, and some of them are also on our panel. If you haven't watched the first two episodes, please do so.
What about you? Have you ever thought of studying in Finland? You can type your responses in the chat box and we'll share some of the answers that we've gotten from a few other people.
I think yes, I'd consider studying. Yeah, I didn't mention that if I can do a postdoc in Finland or maybe job opportunity. Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of the cold climate, but I think that I would, in terms of like the exposure, looking at how they do research in Finland as compared to in South Africa, and probably incorporate all the strategies that I see are different from this side and bring them here back at home. So yeah, I would definitely consider that.
I would, mainly because I've read that Finland is an open country. I mean, if there are no limitations and if I can be free in a foreign country and not feel like a foreigner, then yes, I would really consider that. I'd like to feel at home in Finland. So if it's a welcoming environment, then yes, I'm definitely going to be open for that.
Yeah, even at this stage, just starting my research, I'm not yet established. If an opportunity arises for me to find myself in Finland, I humbly welcome it.
Absolutely, I would consider going to Finland, doing my research, engaging with other researchers that side as well. I'd most definitely go to Finland and further my studies. It's a very good country whereby opportunities are there, and learn more that side. Like I said, even my interest in mining as well, and engaging more with researchers that side, engaging more with students, engaging more to helping and developing the country, learning that side, and also to come and uplift South Africa as well from what have been learned in Finland.
I believe in intersectionalities, especially with the way we're studying recently, where everything is now interdisciplinary, cross-cultural and everything. So I believe that it's a possibility that I may have something that will take me to Finland someday, so you never can tell.
Definitely, I would consider that. It has a lot of rich culture, rich education system, friendly environment. It's one of the happiest countries, I'm told. Then being in that environment, I think, will boost my ego, boost my intellectual capacity, will boost my confidence, and also the opportunities there. I think there are quite a number of them that I can explore.
I have definitely thought about that, and I must say it does sound like a very, very attractive possibility.
Let's take a look at some of the study and work programs available to us.
We chatted to Iina Soiri, the Finland Knowledge Network Senior Specialist for Southern Africa.
The Finland Knowledge Network is a special resource for the universities in Finland to create collaboration with their counterparts in different parts of the world. So the network is global. We have experts around the world, from Beijing to Washington and everything between. And I am covering the Southern African region, even broader African region.
There are more than 400 bachelor's and master's degree programs taught in Finland at its universities and universities of applied sciences. And then, of course, many doctoral study and research options.
All universities in Finland, there are 35 in total, they have several English language programs. So all our programs are available for anybody who qualify with the requirements.
There are 22 universities of applied sciences in Finland, and they offer bachelor's and master's degrees with a focus on professions, working life and regional development. There are 13 universities in Finland, and they offer bachelor's, master's and doctoral programs focused more on scientific research. Most bachelor's degree programs taught in English are offered by universities of applied sciences, and most master's programs taught in English are offered by universities. To apply for a bachelor's degree program, you need an upper secondary school certificate or equivalent. A bachelor's at a University of Applied Sciences takes between 3.5 to 4.5 years to complete, and at a university it takes 3 years. A university bachelor's usually offer continuation to a master's degree. A university's master's takes 2 years of full-time study to complete, and you need a bachelor's to apply. For a master's at a University of Applied Sciences, you also need to have at least 2 years work experience in that field, and the degree takes 1 to 1.5 years to complete. After your master's, you can apply for a doctoral degree, which is only provided by universities. It usually takes around 4 years to complete. There are also many academic research options for doctoral and postdoc research at Finnish universities, as well as scientific research in Finland.
In fact, I think postgrad and research opportunities are plentier. We are still a little bit low when it comes to bachelor studies, because it of course demands English if you come from outside Finnish-speaking community. I think it's often recommended actually to have your first degree and then look for master's and PhD degrees in Finland, because we also have more financial opportunities for those. We have already very good international research groups, and our research funding agency also encourages international research projects. So we really recommend that whatever area you are interested in, look for collaboration from Finland. The Team Finland knowledge experts like me will help and facilitate the international collaboration of universities in Finland and in the target areas. And we hope to have joint research projects, joint mobility programs, and also programs that advance the institutional capacity of the African universities.
Finland also has a special higher education institutional cooperation instrument, or HEIIKI, that supports cooperation projects between higher education institutions in Finland and Asia and Africa.
HEIIKI is another government-sponsored program that provides resources for Finnish universities to make collaboration, institutional collaboration with their counterparts, especially in non-European countries. So it is mostly at the moment targeted to African countries, and we have several I think 8 programs in Africa at the moment, just started this year.
At the moment, they have programs running in Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia and Mozambique. You can find out from your own institution if they are part of any such program. If you have a student residence permit, you can work within certain limits while you are in Finland, which is a great way of earning some extra cash as well as valuable work experience and networks while you are studying. Non-EU students can also apply for an extended residence permit for up to a year after graduation to help you search for work. Your Finnish university has career services that can help find a job. Finland has lots of opportunities for professionals with special skills. There is a talent boost network with talent hubs in all the different regions where you can check the specifics of opportunities in that area. For example, Helsinki Business Hub has special services for foreign startups.
What we always say in Finland is very easy to balance your career objectives and your social life and your in case you come with a family. So we take care of the whole family in Finland.
If you're an English-speaking professional, there might be an opportunity for you in key fields. On jobs.workinfinland.fi, you can see what is available.
You might find Finns a bit withdrawn and shy, but when you get to know us, I think you can make lifelong friendships. And definitely education is good. I mean, with Finnish higher education certificate, you can also find quite good career opportunities outside Finland if you wish so.
Let's look at the experience of a foreigner who is working in ICT in Finland.
I always wanted to work on the field of IoT, and finally I'm able to do that here in Finland. I remember flying from Delhi to Helsinki, and Delhi, as we know, is super crowded. When I landed in Helsinki, it was still okay, but when I came to Tampere, I remember asking my wife, where did all the people go? Nature is almost everywhere here. It is beautiful and green. The nearest forest is just a 10 minutes walk from my home. I think my work-life balance has definitely improved. I have spent 30 years in India, but I never thought that I would be able to ski someday. But now it's possible and it is simply great. When I was looking for a job in Finland, I was looking for something where I could learn more. And being a senior software engineer, I was looking for a place where I could contribute and bring my ideas to the table. I find Finnish people very helpful. I'm not able to speak Finnish yet, but that has not stopped me from achieving what I've achieved till date. There are well-efficient and fast systems in place for transport or education, etc. It's a pretty advanced society, I would say. Apart from learning at work, I have enrolled myself into a master's degree program in Tampere University. It was always on my bucket list to complete my master's. The quality of education, as we all know, in Finland is pretty high. It is very flexible. I can choose the structure of my course and the time that I take the course, and it goes hand in hand with my work, so I don't see a reason why not. Working for ICT in Finland, your skills and experience will be valued. With the right skill set, it is not very difficult to find a job because there's a huge ICT market in Finland, and you will always be working on latest cutting-edge technologies. I am aiming to become a software architect at some point. With my experience and the master's degree that I'm pursuing, I'm pretty sure that I will be able to achieve it.
So, if you've been salivating about some of the opportunities you've seen to study or work in Finland, the good news is you actually can.
But like most things of value in life, there is a process to making it happen. So let's take a look at what you actually have to do in order to study in Finland.
The academic year in Finland starts in their autumn, around the middle of August or beginning of September. The autumn term runs from August-September to around Christmas time. Then their spring term starts around the second week of January and lasts until the first week of June, which is the end of the academic year and the start of their summer holidays. Most university courses start in autumn at the beginning of the academic year, but some start in January at the beginning of spring term. Step 1 is to choose the program you want to apply for. For that, you need to go to Finland's national application portal, studyinfo.fi.
There you can search for a specific study option. Specifically, go to Bachelor's, Master's or Postgrad. Or you can click on Browse Study Options, where you can explore the different categories. Apply filters to define your search better. Make a list of the programs you are interested in. For each one, check the application date, check the application requirements. Do you meet the requirements? Is there an entrance exam or aptitude test that you need to do? If so, book them well in advance. Additional info, for example, required documents. Add courses you are interested in to your shortlist. For some courses, you need to use a joint application process, and for others, a separate application process. Let's look at both. For joint applications, you can apply for up to 6 different programs on one application form through the studyinfo.fi website. Each year, there are 2 joint application periods for study programs in English. First, in spring, you usually apply in January to start studies in August. Then, the autumn application period, where you apply in September to start studies in January. Click on your shortlist. Click on Fill in Application. Carefully read the instructions at the beginning of the application form. Fill in everything. Be thorough. Check missing information and preview. Submit application. You will get a confirmation email. Note that you can only submit one application form in the same joint application. If you submit several, only the newest one will be taken into consideration and all the others will be deleted. You can make changes to your application during the application period by using the link in the confirmation email. For separate applications, you apply directly at each university with a separate application form for each. Each university has its own procedures. You can find the application forms on studyinfo.fi, but it's easier to just go to the specific university's webpage. One thing to note is that Finland is very strict about details, and your entire application will be rejected if something is incomplete or incorrect. No exceptions. If you make the effort, you might just find yourself on a Finnish campus soon, starting an exciting new adventure that may change your life forever. Finnish people enjoy free education in Finland, including at university level.
And even though people from outside the EU are not exempt from fees to study, it is possible to apply for grants to cover many other things. So let's take a look.
If you are an international student applying to study in Finland, you can also apply for a scholarship for any English-taught bachelor's and master's level degree programs that have annual tuition fees. For doctoral studies, there's a complete separate funding system for your research. There is no universal scholarship program in Finland. Each individual university has its own scholarship program, and scholarships are granted to a select number of applicants. These scholarships are only available for citizens outside of the European Union and the European Economic Area. When you apply for admission to your degree study program, you have to apply for a waiver of tuition fees on the same form and at the same time by ticking the relevant sections on the application form. You cannot apply for a university tuition fee waiver after the application period has ended, so remember to apply when applying for admission. There are only a limited number of scholarships available and are only granted to the best applicants. Apart from tuition fee waivers, some universities also offer incentive-based grants. These are granted to students who have shown good progress with their studies and are based on the amount of ECTS or European Credit Transfer and Accumulation System credits. The details of these grants differ from university to university. Most university scholarships only cover the cost of your annual tuition fees and not living or other personal or study-related costs. When applying for your student residence permit, you will have to show that you have sufficient means to cover your living expenses and other costs as well. There are, however, a small number of individual degree programs that offer their own scholarships but also cover living expenses. There are also some other scholarships you could possibly access. Some university student unions offer annual grants to students who are active in their student community and are achieving good academic success. You can also check out international scholarship platforms like scholarshipportal.com, where grants are provided by private institutions and foundations. Also find out about possible scholarship programs in your own country for studying abroad. If you are interested in doctoral studies, good news is that there are no tuition fees charged. You will be responsible for your living expenses, but there are different grants available that you may qualify for. Some university departments have paid doctoral research positions available or funding schemes of their own. They will also be able to direct you to potential grant awarding foundations in your field of research. Depending on if you want to study, do research or do business in Finland, there are different permits that you'll have to apply for.
Which is normal in any country. So let's take a look at some of the requirements that you would need in order to do so.
If you've been accepted at a Finnish university, University of Applied Sciences, or a vocational institution for the first time, you need to apply for a study residence permit, which normally is valid for 2 years. If you're coming for postgrad studies after completing a master's degree, you need to apply for a residence permit for scientific research. You will need to allow at least 2 months, but preferably even more, as the process can take a long time. You will need sufficient finances to cover your tuition fees, plus at least €560 per month for accommodation, food and other needs for your entire stay in Finland. You will therefore need proof that, apart from your tuition fees, you have at least €13,440 in your personal bank account for living expenses for a 2-year residence permit. You will need to take out private insurance to cover your medical and pharmaceutical expenses during your entire stay in Finland. If you are granted a residence permit for studies, your spouse and children can be granted a residence permit on the basis of family ties. See the Finnish Immigration website for updates regarding the coronavirus situation. Remember, only apply after receiving an admission letter from the educational institution. So, what are the steps to apply? The Finnish Immigration Service has specific instructions depending on your situation. See the link below. First, make sure you have all the documents that you will need to submit. If they're not in English, Finnish or Swedish, have them translated and certified. Check details on migree.fi, but here is a quick summary. Your passport, color copies of your passport, a passport photo, a document showing you are legally staying in the country where you submit the application, your application form, a certificate of acceptance or attendance from your educational institution in Finland, proof of income, health insurance, proof that you paid your tuition fees or received a scholarship, additional documents in specific cases as explained on migree.fi. Submit your application online. Go to the website enterfinland.fi and create an account. Fill in and submit your application and upload all required documents. Pay your application fee through the same website. Visit a Finnish embassy or consulate for identification and fingerprinting. The Finnish Immigration Service processes your application and informs you about their decision. If your application is approved, you will be issued with a residence permit card that you can pick up from the embassy. You are now one step closer to your Arctic adventure. It's one thing to know what the processes are, but it's always good to get some practical tips from people who have actually been through it.
Some of those people are actually on our panel today who've been on the inside. So let's get those insider tips before we get to answering your burning questions.
Read the instructions. In fact, read between the lines and then make sure you're following everything they're asking you for. Everything. I had to apply 3 times, not because the school kept refusing me, but my application was not good. It was not good. The more I go back and look at my various applications, I realize, that was terrible. I'm not surprised they didn't admit me on the first 2 tries.
For a PhD, that was also different. So I had like a plan in place. the study plan the research plan. So if you know the people, think of who you want to work with. If you don't know, go on the website of the university, study the profiles of the people, and think maybe from there you can get someone that you can supervise you, and after that, just apply.
And so I applied. Basically what I did was I uploaded my information. I had a small video, pretty much like what we're doing right now. And I uploaded it on YouTube. They had a look at it, and seems like they liked what I had to offer. And yeah, we had an interview.
Let me just make it clear here that applying for a permit in Finland, if you have all the requirements, it's not hard at all. You just have to follow the instructions, and the instructions are very clear online.
I think the most important things that you needed there was proof of funds. You also needed an offer letter. You also needed a valid passport, and as well as the criminal record, they do it themselves. So I didn't need to submit that. So basically those things are what I needed to show.
So first and foremost, you should know where you're supposed to go for your permit interview. Unfortunately, Ghana, you will have to travel all the way to Nigeria for your permit interview.
So you do an online application, and then you'd have to go to the embassy in Pretoria so that they process your documents there. So I went to the embassy in Pretoria, where I submitted my documents, and I think 2 or 3 days later, I actually got the visa.
You can easily then, in that 3 or 4 years that you spend here as a student, look for opportunities where you can then upgrade your visa to a working visa or just a permanent residence one.
Do as much research as you can about a country. Figure out how the cost of living is, compare with where you are, figure out how the salaries look like, ask people online.
If you want to talk about Finnish culture, then it was a cultural shock. I come from a place where I greet everybody from young to old, and then you come here and you greet and no one responds, and you're like, okay, what is that?
No one is going to pat you on the back and congratulate you for being early. It's no achievement here. It's just expected, of everyone that if the meeting is at 1 o'clock, everybody's there at 5 to latest, and by 1 o'clock, everybody's just seated and they start.
There's a great amount of videos that you can watch, so many resources to learn about a certain country before you move. And I would ask about Finland, and they gave me their honest opinion. So I wasn't so, obviously you'd be shocked to some extent when you come through because it's a culture shock, but then I expected some of the things because I'd already asked about them.
And people are very, very shy, not very talkative. So you have to go ready to understand that silence it doesn't mean that people are not sympathetic. It just means that people don't need so much to speak and feel comfortable with silence. So
it's just a cultural thing that people like their space, and I've also grown to adapt to that. I now also want my space, and every time when I visit South Africa or Zimbabwe, etc., I actually feel like I'm being crowded.
Trying to meet as many other people as possible, whether they be locals or expats, just really widening your network. That's one thing that I really find a huge value here, is that you can, for example, I play football 2 or 3 times a week, and the people that I play with, they're from all over the world.
So if someone is coming for first-time studies, I would really encourage them that they mix with people before the winter comes, because you need those people to carry you through the winter. And I think at times it's difficult to break in to the communities right at the start, but then once you are accepted and trusted, obviously, things become easier.
With time, you can create friends among Finnish. It's possible, and there are people very warm, very kind, and very respectful.
I won't lie, the winters are harsh, they are cold, and they are long. From November, around about end of October, through to mid-January, it's dark. So the sun comes out at around 10 a.m. and it sets around 3 p.m.
You have to go prepared to buy warm clothes in Finland. Don't buy it in Africa. We think you buy good clothes in Africa for winter, but it can be useful for autumn, but not for winter in Finland. So you have to take some money to invest in a very good jacket, for polar jackets. So buy it in Finland. They are ready for that. Very good gloves, 2 pair of gloves.
The language is not so easy. They do understand, the Finns themselves do understand that their language is not the easiest. And I think in the university setup, you're okay, because being an international institution, English is the medium of communication and so on. But then when you go into a shop and you want to buy stuff, it's a bit difficult. I have to rely on, at first I used to check on Google Translate, but then you get tired. So now I just look at the pictures. If I see a cow, then I know it's beef. If I see a pig, then I know it's pork. You know that sort of thing.
Have a very good look at your finances when you come here. Really try to understand and have a look at, for example, something as simple as the price of bread. In comparison with South Africa, where we pay, I guess, around 15 Rand right now in 2021, where here you probably be looking at double that. Data, for example, that is actually the opposite. Here in Finland, you can basically have a very good plan for unlimited phone calls, unlimited internet, unlimited text messages, and so forth. For very affordable prices. I believe for about 600 Rand, you can have unlimited everything.
The basic infrastructures, they exist and they are for free. Health, education, transport is not expensive too.
Public transportation is so excellent in Helsinki. It is so good that, at any hour during the day or night, if you want to go home or go to a certain place, there will be transport.
The nice thing about this place is once you're in Europe, you get so many opportunities for job offers. You also get an opportunity to travel around across Europe.
So you've done all the paperwork, gone through all the processes, and finally have everything in place. The door to your Arctic adventure stands wide open.
So what now? What will your practical experience be once you get off that airplane and set your feet on Finnish ground?
The winter arrives very early, especially in November. Starts snow, October starts snow, and then it's so beautiful. In fact, so beautiful.
For me, one of the more sort of fascinating things was really just breathing in the air of -40 degrees Celsius. I'd never really felt that or had that experience. And that it only gets to those temperatures when you go up north from Finland towards Lapland, the original home of Santa Claus.
I felt the winter experience, and it was a very fascinating experience. Actually, it was one of my fascinating experiences that I felt all my life.
Cross-country skiing or sort of these snowmobiles. Husky rides where you have huskies pulling you, and also reindeers. People are very distant from each other on bus stops and so forth, but in the sauna is the huge exception. You can literally walk by your neighbor in the corridor without greeting them, but then walk into the sauna with them naked, and that's completely normal. And immediately from the sauna go and actually roll around the snow naked. Because apparently, according to health experts, when you have those two temperature variations from very cold to very hot or vice versa, it boosts your immune system.
My professor was Professor Kaite, and then he took me and my wife to their cottage.
Many people sort of don't know that Finland actually does have a summer, a pretty good summer. It's just that the summer is very short.
I'm from a farming community in Ghana, so my parents are farmers. And then I've been living in such an environment before. So going there, seeing the forest, like living in a house which is in the forest, and then hearing the sounds of these animals in the night. Like it just remembered me of Ghana, where I used to live. Yeah.
Our summer is sort of 2 months, 3 months if it's really generous in that year. And then the rest of the time is sort of the in-between seasons, like sort of autumn and spring.
So my professor and the wife has to go and sleep in the sauna. and then giving us their bed to sleep on it. Yeah. So I think this was something I will never forget. And also, he wasn't just a supervisor, he was also playing the role as a father.
When I got down in Helsinki from the flight, I had to take train like for 4 hours to UNSO. And the first thing that struck me was the fact that the cities are fused with the environment.
Finland is full of forests. Actually, the city is very divided with forests inside.
So you see a whole lot of buildings, and from each building you see a little bit of nature in between.
There's also the city bikes are all over the place, so you pretty much just have to pay your subscription for the whole season, and you can ride wherever you want.
So we were biking through a neighborhood, and then we go through a deep forest, then another neighborhood, then another deep forest.
5 minutes walk from my apartment, there's a forest that I can run over there, walk, if you want to shout. So it's not like the, let's say, nature is far away from you, it's very close.
We used to pick blueberries, and also we used to pick strawberries, and also we gather some mushrooms, and then we ate straight from the forest.
I got here and I was shocked that ladies could go jogging in the forest at midnight, especially in summer where you've got the midnight sun, and nothing would happen to them. You meet people and you just pass each other, you respect each other, you give each other space.
When you have a very highly educated society, they are much more difficult to exploit as a people. Therefore, one correlation that I also found is that with a high level of education is also much lower crime, higher safety, and much more transparency as well.
The respect for for the other citizenship rights, the sense of citizenship duties. So all this non-corruption, all these organization all around the society, and all the citizens involved.
When I'm here, I never look over my shoulder, never, ever. No matter what time it is of the night, sort of violent crimes are really rare. Crime in general is rare, but then even rarer are violent crimes.
There is no need for policemen because everyone knows very well what is his role in society, what he has to do.
Finland has a lot to offer to the world. There are a lot of interesting things that they are offering.
There's so much that we could harness and actually implement back home in Africa. That because Finland, it seems like they're already on a different level of progression, which is far much higher than what we have in Africa. Especially when it comes to things like IT, tech, and entrepreneurship, they are really hands-on that. They're really big on that.
Nokia was from Finland. And if I'm not mistaken, Ubuntu also has some origin from Finland, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so it shows that they have done it before and they can still do a lot more. And in fact, a lot more is going on.
It's really what some people have actually called a utopia in as far as countries are concerned. And it's very interesting to have that perspective of sort of Africa and what could be sort of seen or perceived by some people as a utopia.
If you get the opportunity to study in Finland, I would say take it and try to make the best out of it.
Thank you very much for your questions and your comments so far. We are going to hear from our panelists in just a moment, so if you haven't done so yet, please type your questions in the Q&A section.
It's been quite a journey. I can't believe we've come to our final panel discussion of the series. Here's a quick reminder of who our panelists are today. Cool, welcome back. And thank you so much for everyone who is joining us. For the next half an hour, what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of a fireside chat, look at some of your questions, and then towards the last 10 minutes, we'll introduce to you Finland's representatives in Mozambique and Tanzania. So we do have a lot of questions that keep coming through. Just a reminder, don't put the questions in the chat box. Make sure that you put your questions in the Q&A section, and we'll get through to all of those hopefully within the next half an hour. And then on the website, futurewithfinland.com, where you registered for the series, we'll also be posting a lot of your frequently asked questions. Might not be today, but it will happen within the next few days. So keep your eye on futurewithfinland.com. And you can also check out the recordings of episode 1 and 2 on there as well. And we'll upload episode 3 very, very soon. But for now, let's spend some time looking at your questions. Again, a reminder to use the Q&A section so that we can look at the questions specifically, and you can address them directly to some of the panelists on the panel if you want to.
Thank you, Marcia. Yeah, please direct your questions as far as possible to the panelists. So if you have any questions related to visas, permits, general immigration questions, you can ask Rasmus. He's from the Finnish Immigration Service. And then if you have questions about studies, admission, scholarship, etc., we had lots of those that have already been answered in the Q&A section, but you can address any more to Samuli from the Study in Finland team, or to Anna, who is from the University of Eastern Finland, and she deals with international academic matters. And then we have Ina from the Team Finland Knowledge Network. And then for personal experience of somebody who is from Africa and who has been studying and working, starting a business in Finland, we have Michael that you can ask questions. And then if you are interested in establishing a startup in Finland, we have Timu and all the other topics that we have covered in the webinar so far. Those things I think we covered well, but we have Timu with us to maybe go into a little bit of more detail about how to start a startup in Finland. So Timu, if you are ready for us, I'm going to hand over to you to give us maybe a 3-minute overview. And then we will get to specific questions.
Thank you very much. Great to be here in Africa once again. So I have been working there in Mozambique and Tanzania, and also short whiles in many other countries. Great to see so many participants. Good morning, bon dia. So I'm working here in Helsinki City in a unit called Nyko. You can find the website on my background, and as well our email address that you can also email us. So basically what we do here, we help all kinds of entrepreneurs create new successful companies here in Helsinki region. So whatever is your question, so please contact us. So we are providing business advisory services based on your specific needs, and besides of that, various trainings, and we help you to connect with our vibrant ecosystem, as well as help you getting funding from public and private VCs and angels and so forth. So even before you are landing to Finland, I advise you to contact us, and we will help you with the startup permit application. And after that, if you are granted for startup visa, then we are helping you to establish the company, and then further on to make your business grow fast. That's shortly what we are doing here in Nyko, Helsinki.
Great. I think let's quickly have a look at the, thank you, Timu. Let's quickly have a look at the poll results. Zander, if you are able to maybe bring those up. Yeah, cool. So the first question was, would you consider studying in Finland? And as you can say, 83% of everybody said yes, absolutely. 1% said no ways, and 16%
Albertus,
said
I want to know who the, sorry, Albertus, I want to know who the 1% is. I want to find them. Give me their names and their addresses as well.
Thanks, Michael. Okay, let's look at the next one. What was the next question that we had up there? Would you consider studying in Finland? What would your main motivation be to study or work in Finland? So we had 35% that said it will open doors for my career, 1% it can help me become rich, 13% I want to start a new life overseas, 46% it will better prepare me to make a difference in my country and continent. I like that. And 6% other reasons. And then the last one. Okay, your motivation, or what are you interested in pursuing in Finland right now? 14% bachelor's, 28% master's, 20% PhD, 2% postdoc, 6% research positions, 6% establishing a startup, 18% finding a job, and 6% other. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for participating there. That was quite interesting. I think, Masia, you maybe want to start with one or two of the questions that we got from our attendees.
Sure. So yeah, speaking of education, this one was quite an interesting one, and I'm going to throw this one to you, Samuli. A question surrounding companies who offer guaranteed admission to universities. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it something that happens quite often? Is it something that people need to be aware of? Samuli.
Hello, can you see me or hear me? All right. I'm Samuli from Study in Finland team, and actually, I know that there are some companies that use this kind of language in their marketing, and sometimes it can be that they have got some sort of cooperation with a Finnish university that they will go through. So let's say the students go through a certain preliminary program, and then they have guaranteed access to the study program. So this is possible, but if you are in any doubt, you should check with the Finnish university whether this kind of an agency has really got this kind of a permission to act as their on their behalf as a student recruitment office. So you just need to check with the Finnish university, so whether the agency is a legitimate one or not, because there are some of the agencies that might not have this kind of, they just use this kind of language. So it depends. It's impossible for us, of course, to keep track of all the agencies in the world. But having said that, you do not need an agency to apply through to Finnish universities. You can always apply yourself through the Study Info website, and when it comes to PhD studies, you usually apply directly to the university. So yeah, well, that's the short answer to this question, I suppose.
Ina, I see you've got your hand up. Do you want to add on to what Samuli has said? Can she hear me?
Well, she's not going to use her opportunity to talk.
Go ahead, Michael. Go for it.
I first want to make sure that I understood the question correctly. You're asking that, or you were saying that some companies are offering students a guaranteed place in university. Was that the question? And you were asking for sort of verification of if whether this is an actual thing or not. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay, well, I know of a French student at present right now who I met I think a week ago, and he was looking for accommodation, and I was offering one of my apartments in Helsinki to sort of sublet it to him, and he told me a story saying that there was a French company from his country that basically arranged for him accommodation. So not so much on the registration for actual university itself, because that can be done via the websites of the universities directly. But there's also this knock-on effect, and they are related sort of university services like accommodation. This student
I think, Michael, your internet seems to have cut you off there a little bit. Ina, do you want to also add on to that?
Yes, hi, good morning, everyone. I'm also cutting off a bit, but I hope you can hear and see me now. What Samuli said is true. Some companies have agreements with universities, but you should always be careful and check the background. And one thing you must remember, application process is free of charge. Because some of these companies, they tell you that, or they charge you for that. But if you follow the instructions, what we've given you today, or even go through the videos afterwards, what we have shown, you don't really need a company. But just be careful and check the background before you agree for them to handle this process on your behalf. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ina. Anna, do you also want to add on to that?
Yes, thanks. So my name is Anna. I come from the University of Eastern Finland. And for example, at our university, we don't guarantee the 100% of the accepted students. We don't have that one. So we do have agencies who help our applicants, but all our applications and applicants, they go through this separate application process. So I have also heard that there has been some questions among our applicants that is this partner, is this agency partner of your university? And we always check our partners very carefully. So if you have any hesitations, please contact the university and ask if the university has a contract with this specific agency. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Rasmus, I have two questions for you that are pretty related. The one is, let me just quickly find it there. Okay, so if I get that residence permit card, is it simply a permission to be in the country, or does it give me other privileges or options? That's the one question. And then one related to that is, if I have that permit to study in Finland or do research in Finland, does that also give me the options to travel to other European countries?
Okay, so hello everybody. I'm Rasmus Salminen from Finnish Immigration Service, where I work as a senior advisor. And the question for this, so basically, if you have a residence permit for studying in Finland, it gives you also right to work average 25 hours weekly. So it's a good advantage for that. And yeah, I think that was actually the main, what you can do the side of your studies. Of course, you know, your studies need to go like further, so that's important to remember as well. But you know, when you have a residence permit in Finland, yes, you can visit other countries. And we had the question before that we were thinking at the Immigration Service that what kind of questions you might have. But if you have residence permit in another European Union country, then it's actually easier the process to come to Finland. That you need to also apply the mobility, like to move to the other countries. So it's not that hard, the process. But yeah, I don't know, did it answer to the question?
Great, thank you so much. That's a great answer, Rasmus. Ina, there were also two related questions. The one was Matthias Simbini, who asked, could you help us on how to get contacts with Finnish universities for cooperation agreements in mobility and scientific research? And then Frida Shapopi Shingenge said, I would like to collaborate in early childhood education research. Areas of literacy and teacher education are my interest. So those kind of questions, what would your answer be about cooperation?
Thank you very much for the questions. This is exactly what I do. I'm trying to find matchmaking between the universities of Southern Africa and Finnish universities. So I suspect that both of you are enrolled in a university. So the first door to enter is your own university's international office. They normally have a good list of those collaboration agreements, what that particular university in your country or in your region has active. Otherwise, you can contact me. I do have at the moment a process going on trying to map out the South African universities, that what kind of collaboration there exist. We have some idea already. There are quite a number of universities that, for example, teacher education. I think in the first episode, or was it in the second, you saw the UJ, the University of Johannesburg, and Helsinki University cooperating in this area. Also, I know that similar cooperation exists in Mozambique and in Namibia. So it depends where you are, which university you are talking about. So maybe after you've contacted your own international office, or simultaneously, you can also send me an email, and I can have a look what possibilities there are. Thank you.
Timu, I'm going to go ahead and ask you this one because, startup is a big word that's popped up since, COVID-19 in 2020. But the startup ecosystem has quite a reputation for being pretty closed off to outsiders. Beyond just encouraging foreigners to start business in Finland and to start a business in Finland, how open is Finland, particularly to those founders in the areas of tech and innovation and gaming, etc.? How open is Finland to foreigners in the startup ecosystem, and how do you encourage people from outside of Finland to really take Finland as the next Silicon Valley?
Thank you for your question. Just to shortly start, so we are very open and inclusive, our startup ecosystem, and that's like the basis for our startups and investors which are coming to Finland. We have, I don't know, more than 100 nationalities representing various companies, and as you mentioned, our games industry is of course very well known, but also we have put a lot of effort for education and health technologies, just to name a few. And as there is some blueberries behind you, so food tech is also growing very fast. So I would say it's very easy to come wherever you are coming.
Thank you so much, Timu. Just following on from that question, I think, Michael, maybe then I should throw this one to you. I mean, you're doing business that side in Finland. How has the experience been? And just an overview of what it is like stepping into Finland to start a business and be successful in that realm.
Yeah, so if I had to add on to what Teemu just said now, there are very specific things that you could plug into in as far as entrepreneurial activities are concerned in Finland. One of them is their organization, Teemu's organization, Nuco Helsinki. They are business advisors, and they help as well with, for example, business plans and so forth, and also just brainstorming your idea to see whether or not it's viable, and whether or not it's scalable, profitable, and so forth. And I've consulted them in the beginning stages of me wanting to open a business in that country, in Finland. Secondly, you don't actually need to open a business or register one formally. There's something called UKKO, UKKO, .fi, and this is a platform whereby they do all of your accounting for you, and they take a 5% commission for any product or service that you offer to someone else. So they are billing service. So you could literally bill as an individual, as a private individual, without opening a company. In my beginning stages, I also use them as well at some point. They're very efficient, and you are able to issue invoices yourself to people whom you give products and services to, and you're also able to receive also invoices from people. For example, with my entertainment company, for example, I have these 7 DJs under me, and whenever they go to an event and they play there, they can send me an invoice using this ecosystem as private individuals without opening a business, and I then issue the payment to them either as a private individual myself back to them, or through the company, which is a private company that I own there. So those are the two things. It's either you register yourself as a full-on entrepreneur. There's something that they call, if you can help me, Temo, there's something that they call this toiminimi. How would I translate toiminimi in this case? It's a formal business, but it's a sort of a light entrepreneurship, if you like. Correct me, Temo, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a correct description about toiminimi. So whatever, basically, just continuing what Michael was telling, that whatever is your business, so we have various options to start your business. So although I'm working here in a growth startups team, we are supporting all kinds of businesses. And besides our unit, there is also innovation and entrepreneurship units in every single university, and we are working very closely. So it's not about, we are like the connection point to connect you with various accelerators, incubators, investors, whatever is needed for your specific business.
And as far as the connection between universities and entrepreneurship, most, if not all, universities have an entrepreneurship society. So if you're studying at a university, whether you're studying entrepreneurship or not, you'll be able to have access to that society. And the closer you get to graduating, or even during your first year of studies, you are able to participate in various entrepreneurial events like seminars and so forth, and also meet other entrepreneurial people who are either academics or who are either students themselves, or literally doing business in Finland and other parts of EU. As far as giving an overview is concerned of how it is to register a company and how user-friendly the entire process is to actually get to the point where you have a registered company, it's very easy because you could do it on your laptop in 30 minutes. You pay about 200 and some euros, and you'd have a registered company. There's a website, prh.fi. You just go there and you register your company. You just check whatever name that you want is available, and that you're not infringing on other people's intellectual property. And once you've done sort of due diligence, you're then able to register your company in 3 minutes, and you get a bit your uudunus number, as they would call it. Temo, help again. This is your business ID number, and once you get that, you're able then to issue invoices and receive them, and basically start transacting. So it's literally an overnight thing to start a business. It used to be 2,500 euros that you must have in the bank account of the business before you started, and then they realized that with many people who wanted to do businesses saw this as a big barrier in terms of entering the entrepreneurial sector, and then they removed that, and now it's only 200 and some euros to be able to register your company if you're thinking of, for example, a sort of light entrepreneurship or private company. So that is as much as I could possibly sort of share in as far as the question of giving an overview is concerned. And one more thing is that many people have concerns about foreigners opening businesses there. If you're a resident, whether you're a temporary resident or permanent or citizen, everybody gets treated equally. You can start a business literally on your first day of arrival, as long as you're legally in the country and you're a resident. It shouldn't be an issue.
Thank you very much, Michael, for mentioning entrepreneurship societies. I was helping to start the first one in Aalto University a little bit more than 10 years ago. So our ecosystem, or local ecosystems also in different cities, are fueled by the students, and most of the activities are run by the students. I think this is very important point.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Michael and Timo. I see that, Rasmus, that you had a question there that you wanted to answer live. It was from Edina Sekaye Sepeye from Zimbabwe, asking, where do I go to apply for my visa? It seems like there's no Finland embassy in Zimbabwe.
Oh, yes, that's correct. An answer is, because basically you can fill and apply online, because we have this Enter Finland, excellent Enter Finland service, what you can use. And so basically you can even pay the application online. But of course, before you can get the residence permit, you need to visit embassy. And as Zimbabwe doesn't have a Finnish embassy, so correct me if I'm not wrong, so then it's Zambia in Lusaka, but you need to visit and show your passport and leave your fingerprints. But almost everything is online based. So Enter Finland's e-service is very excellent, what most our applicants actually use.
Thank you so much, Rasmus. Just want to see here. A couple of questions coming through in the Q&A. Ina, here's one that you wanted to answer live. It says that I see, it comes from Ngosia Zidube, who says, I see Finland is doing great in providing opportunities to people who want to live, study, and work in Finland. Are there opportunities to capacitate some of us Africans who want to remain in Africa? I think that's a really good question, especially with the whole move towards becoming digital nomads. Is this an option?
Yes, thank you for the question. Do you hear me now?
We hear you loud and clear, Ina.
Good. Yes, as we've seen in the previous episodes, one major objective of this webinar series is to show what do we do together. This is what we're talking about, Future with Finland. We do have many universities who have collaboration program with African universities. And we also have a campus at the University of Namibia in Windhoek, which was set up by University of Turku. So that's an opportunity to go and apply to study there. It offers computer sciences and other digital skills. And then, as mentioned during this episode, we have these programs called Hey Iki, and they have several programs here in Africa. And then, as I said earlier, best is that if you look at your own university, if you are enrolled in a university and visit the international office, the likelihood is that you find some answers there. Our interest at the moment is to promote collaboration between the Finnish universities and Southern African universities. And actually there is a special financial grant for that, for our universities. So you will see a lot of different options opening up in the near future. So I also I recommend that you follow our social media, keep in touch with us, with all the universities, I mean all the embassies we have in this area, in this region, and we will try to update how these collaboration opportunities progress and what can we offer for those who want to stay here. We believe that studying in Finland or studying here in Africa together with the Finnish researchers or do research is a win-win situation. And we are here together to try to tackle the global challenges that affect all of us. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Ina. This one is for Anna. Is there any way, it comes from Precious Mkwaye, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It says, is there any way to get a full scholarship at a Finnish higher education since the Finnish government scholarship application for 2021 was able to offer 50% tuition fee, but only unfortunately the embassy doesn't have a scholarship support at the moment and have probably lost the chance. And I'm not sure if you understood the question in its entirety, but do you want to go ahead and try and answer that?
Yeah, thanks. So first of all, I can say something about these 13 academic universities, what we have in Finland. So each of our universities have their own scholarship system. So the first step is to find a program which is interesting for you, and then check the admission criteria and of course scholarship opportunities. So for example, at our university we offer 50%, 70% and 100% tuition waivers. Then I would like to mention, even though I don't think this has been like officially launched yet, but I know that some of our universities, they have already opened their web pages. So Finland scholarship system is coming. The official launch will be, I think, in September. But what I can say right now is that there will be in these academic universities, there will be Finland scholarships available. The number of scholarships and the criteria for that, they will be decided by each university. But the general rule for that Finland scholarship is that it's 100% of that tuition waiver, and it's a first year scholarship for master's studies, and there is also 5,000 euros for travel and living expenses. So, but the official launch of that scholarship will be in September. So that's about it.
Thank you so much, Anna. Ina, I see your hand is up. We are running out of time, but Ina, I think you want to add on to that.
No, I actually lowered my hand because the question was answered already. Yes, there will be new Finland scholarships, and that's why I said watch our space. Some universities also do provide full scholarships, and I happen to know that, for example, a very lucky Namibian got one for the University of Helsinki. So there are opportunities. Thanks.
Thank you, Ina. There are so many good questions coming in, but unfortunately we are running out of time. So I'm going to suggest two things. The one is that as far as possible, we answer those in text in the chat box, and then also we already have some frequently asked questions on the website futurewithfinland.com, as we have mentioned, and we will also incorporate as many of these questions as possible into that over the next couple of days. I would love to give one quick last opportunity to each one of the panelists. If you can maybe either just answer anything else that you still had in your mind, or if you don't have anything specific that you would like to add, what would be your last tip or motivation or encouragement to people from Africa who are interested in studying or pursuing research or startup or career opportunities in Finland? I think let's start with Michael. And if everybody can keep it short, if you can keep it to just like 1 or 2 sentences. Thank you.
Well, I could do it elevator pitch style. So 60 seconds and counting, I would say. I just wrote on the comment section that there is Springboard.fi. Springboard is a company that basically links African businesses and Nordic businesses together, and they also do the same for universities as well. So basically all the information will be there, and they normally have these sort of conferences every year, or rather one big conference where they invite leading business leaders in Africa and also from the Nordics, similar to the Nordic Business Forum, basically. So that is how I would probably conclude.
Thank you very much, Michael. I'm going to ask Timu and then Samuli for your last comments.
Thank you. So basically, there is lots of opportunities, whatever is your business idea here in Finland, and you can also remotely start to browse these various organizations which are offering online support. And I would say that after you have started studies here in Finland, it would be great continuation to make your startup flourish here and focus your businesses in Africa from Finland, behind the same time zone and also very well connected, for example, with Asia. Shortest route to Asia. Thank you.
Samuli, go ahead, and then after that, I'm going to ask Anna.
All right. So to all of you who are considering bachelor's or master's or even doctoral studies in Finland, I mean the full degree studies, you're welcome to visit our Study in Finland website and contact us. Actually, I'll also put the address there in the chat once more. You can find a lot of status information on the Study in Finland website. You'll find all the universities listed, admission advice, how to go about it, information on scholarship. Also on these new Finland scholarships will be there in the near future. So please bookmark us, visit our website and contact us if you have any questions relating to studying in Finland, and we can either ourselves answer you, or then we can direct you to the right persons or right universities or right contacts to answer your question best. So you are very welcome to follow us on social media as well. You'll find our social media links on the website. So see you later, maybe on our website. Thanks for joining this webinar.
Wonderful, thank you. Anna, you can go, and then after you, Rasmus, you can just follow on.
Yeah, I think my tip is pretty practical. So if you are planning to apply to Finland, start to prepare your application in advance and send it on time. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact Finnish universities. Our staff members are here for you. So that's my tip.
And my turn. Here at Finnish Immigration Service, our goal is make the residence permit process as flexible as possible. But I want to remind each of you to take time to fill your application, and expected processing time it can be from 1 to 3 months. So it needs a little bit time. And you can find us on social media as well, and contact us via email or the other channels on the phone. But we have also this very good chatbot service, what is available 24 hours. So remember, like, we are here to answer your questions. So whatever is it, so please contact. And thank you for everyone and participants and fellow speakers here at seminar.
Wonderful, thank you, Rasmus. Ina, last word to you.
I want to break one myth of Finland. It is not cold inside. As you see, I just put my jacket on. I'm born and bred Finn, and I've never felt so cold as I do here in Pretoria. So don't worry about the weather. You will be warm when you are inside. But that done, we would really like to see you in Finland, and we would really like to cooperate with the universities and the talented youth in Southern Africa. So thank you so much for being with us. And don't forget us, follow the social media of the embassies. Thanks so much, and keep warm.
Thank you so much, Ina, and thank you so much to all of our panelists. We are almost at the end of the program. We've gotten an influx of questions, and we hope that we've gotten to yours. If we haven't, we're really sorry, but you can check out the website, futurewithfinland.com. We've uploaded a bunch of frequently asked questions there as well. And if we didn't get to your question today, we'll probably load that up onto the website as well. It's futurewithfinland.com, the same website where you registered for this webinar. You can go there and have a look. It's been amazing. Thank you very much, panelists. You were absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing your expertise and experiences with us, and for giving of your time so freely. We really appreciate it.
Wonderful, thank you. I also just want to add my thanks to Masias. It was fun and it was very insightful. Before we end with a few final important announcements, let's quickly zoom over to Mozambique and Tanzania to meet the teams from the Finnish embassies in Maputo and Dar es Salaam. They have 3 minutes each, and then we are going to close all of this off.
Hello and bom dia from the Embassy of Finland in Maputo. My name is Anna-Kaisa Heikkinen and I work here as the ambassador. And this, by the way, is the Finnish emblem. And yes, it is a lion, although we do not have lions in Finland. Our embassy here in Maputo covers 3 countries: Mozambique, Eswatini, and Madagascar. And now, as regards Mozambique and Finland, we go back a long way. Finland was one of the first countries to recognize the independence of Mozambique, and we've had a long-standing development cooperation, including in the field of education. But now, it's time to look into the future. We are a new generation and we are excited about the opportunities that lie ahead for cooperation.
Meu nome é Naftal Mazuzi. Eu trabalho na recepção da embaixada e também atendo os clientes de vistos. Quando você ligar para a embaixada ou vier nos visitar, provavelmente serei a primeira pessoa que encontrarás. Neste momento, o atendimento ao cliente trabalha de uma maneira limitada devido ao Covid-19. Mas esperamos que trabalharemos normalmente em breve. Muito obrigado.
Hello everyone, my name is Lia Pinto. I've been working for the embassy for almost 3 years in different posts. Currently I work for the governance area, gender and social protection. What I enjoy most about working for the Embassy of Finland is team spirit and also equality among all colleagues. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marianne Kuela Garcia. I work here at the Embassy of Finland in Maputo as a counselor for education. Finland has been supporting education sector for decades. We are primarily concentrating on primary education and secondary education, but we also have a very good contacts with the local universities. I would like to repeat the messages from the first webinar, which I found very useful. The first one, motivation is the key. The second one, do your background work well. Third one, get contact, network with the people who have expertise. And fourth one, don't be shy. You can follow us in our Facebook, Embassy of Finland in Maputo. We will be here supporting you. Thank you.
Hello everybody and greetings from the Embassy of Finland in Dar es Salaam. We have a brilliant team here at the embassy led by Ambassador Riitta Swan. My name is Sari Uusirauva and I'm the Deputy Head of Mission. The Embassy of Finland in Dar es Salaam covers not just Tanzania but also Rwanda and Burundi. And we cover a wide range of topics from political issues to development cooperation, trade promotion and Finland's country image. I think Finland has a very special relationship with Tanzania and that relationship goes back many decades. In fact, this year marks the 50th anniversary of the Embassy of Finland in Dar es Salaam. And over these past decades, we have seen many Tanzanian students go to Finland, do their studies, and after returning to Tanzania, they have formed a vibrant alumni network, and that of course makes us very happy. And now over to my colleague Heini.
Thank you, Sari. Mambo! Hello everybody. My name is Heini Vehmäki. I work as a counselor for natural resource here in the Finnish Embassy. And my area of work includes our bilateral development collaboration, especially in the area of forestry and climate change related initiatives. In addition to that, I'm also the focal point for our different kind of initiatives in education and skills development, as well as the collaboration between educational institutions, such as the universities. And before joining the embassy, I used to work as a researcher. I was the first time doing some research in Tanzania already about 20 years ago as a master student of University of Helsinki. So I'm connected to the research institutions in that way too. This was in a nutshell my role. I'll hand it over now to my colleagues Maiju and Ella. Thank you.
My name is Maiju Palosaari and I work here at the embassy as a coordinator for development cooperation. And in addition to that, I'm also assisting Sari with our Team Finland trade network and also covering a bit of communications, especially in social media. And I was actually here 2 years ago. I did an internship here at the embassy for 6 months, and now I'm really happy to be back here again for a longer period. You've been enjoying the webinar and getting a lot of ideas and interest to be studying and working in Finland. And now I will hand to my colleague Ella.
Asante sana Maiju. My name is Ella. I'm interning here at the embassy, currently as part of my university studies back in Finland. I'm a law student studying at the University of Helsinki, And just in case you're interested in law studies in Finland, you can check out the international programs of the University of Helsinki taught in English.
Karibuni Finland.
Welcome to Finland.
My video is off. My video is off. My video is on. Cool. So thank you so much. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of the series. It's been a really, really informative and interesting and educational adventure. Thank you so much, Albertus. But hopefully this is also the beginning of a brand new chapter for you and a brand new chapter in terms of relations between Finland and the motherland, the mother continent here in Africa.
Thank you, Marcia. I just also want to thank you, first of all, for being such a fabulous co-host. You have such a lovely energy, and I really enjoyed this time together exploring Finland and all the opportunities. Thank you very much again to all our panelists. Thank you so much to all of you guys who have joined us from all across Africa and other parts of the world even. And thank you so much to the different embassies in Southern Africa who has been part of this beautiful experience. So as we said many times, futurewithfinland.com, that's where you can find all the links and information. There was also a question earlier about the availability of these recordings. The first two are already on there, and the second one will be up within a day or two. So please go and watch there. There's also a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. And we'll also put all the little inserts on their own up on that YouTube channel and on the website. So have a look at that. And thank you very much. We are going to say goodbye. If you want to hang around for another 2 or 3 minutes, you are welcome to chat to one another. Then we will stop and end the whole webinar. But otherwise, thank you. And I hope that you have a lovely afternoon.
This is an amazing initiative and great work. Very professionally done, and I'm really happy to have contributed. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.